Hey man, say man, y'all know what it is. Swoosh Life Garage, back here with it with the 4th Gen Prelude. Previous video, y'all saw me fixing up the interior. Interior is really starting to look crispy. Today I need to go ahead and work underneath the hood so we can start to get this thing on the street. Down here underneath the hood, here in the engine bay, and the thing I need to work on is the brake master cylinder here. I know it's been leaking. You can tell that there's no fluid on in here, and that's either because of your handbrake or you're low on some brake fluid. There is a sensor here at the cap whenever the brake fluid goes low. If we look off to the side on the brake booster, you can tell that the paint is starting to come off on the brake booster there, and that's because of the brake fluid coming out of the brake master cylinder leaking on down, and sometimes there's even paint missing down here on the frame of the car. But here there was some dirt on the car, so it's just dripping down on the dirt. And then here on the other side on the brake booster, we could see some more paint bubbling on that brake booster there. So definitely the brake master cylinder is leaking out. So to get started on this brake master cylinder, I'm going to go ahead and put a pan underneath the car just in case. Cool, now we're ready to start working on this. I'm going to open up the cap to the brake master cylinder, and you can see that sensor I was talking about. Whenever the brake fluid is full, the float goes on up, but of course whenever it's low, it just goes on down, and then it sends the signal, and then that's why you get that brake light. I'm going to go ahead and set this off to the side here. You can unplug it if you like. And then there's going to be like an inner filter in the reservoir. You could take that out. Alright, now for the remaining fluid that you guys might have in your reservoir and I have in my reservoir, I got this suction tool here. Gonna go ahead and suck it on up and then put it in the oil pan, and so whenever we take it apart, it'll lessen the amount that drips out. So first thing I need to do here is loosen the lines on the master cylinder. You're going to see them here on the side. There's one for the rear and one for the front, so you do need some line wrenches. And the size you need for the Prelude is the 10 mil, and the line wrench is so you don't strip that flare nut that's on there. These line wrenches really make it a lot easier to take out these lines. If you've taken them off before without them, you guys know what I'm talking about. You just want to loosen them right now. You don't have to take them off at this moment. Now what I need to do is take out the 12 mil nut, it looks like. There's going to be one on the bottom and then one on the top side here. Probably get it with the wrench. There is a lock washer on there as well. Got the lock washer and the nut there. Alright, so that nut and lock washer taken off as well. Master cylinder is going to be loose now. Going to go ahead and take off these lines. Alright, shaking it back and forth. Alright, now you guys could see how much it's been leaking. Needed to be changed a long time ago. All the brake fluid ate up the paint and just made it nasty there. Hopefully there's not like a lot of brake fluid in the brake booster, because it can ruin it, but I really doubt that's the case because the brake booster seems to work well on the car as of now. So I'm just going to be changing out the master cylinder. Here's the parts that I've taken off. Here's like the inner filter. I gotta go ahead and clean this. This seal that's usually on the back of the master cylinder was stuck inside of the brake booster. I did go ahead and have to get a screwdriver and get it on out, so make sure to get that seal out. It just covers this on up there. The thing I gotta reuse is the reservoir, so gotta get the 10 mil, loosen this on up, and then get this separated. So here I had purchased a remanufactured brake master cylinder from Rock Auto. There's the part number 11-2571. It's just the stock one. The one I had taken off the car did look aftermarket. It didn't have the original manufacturer on there, Nissan, so it probably has been changed out before. Now I'm going to be installing the reservoir back onto this one, and then we'll start putting it into the car. So there it is, reservoir all cleaned up. Now we just got to go ahead and put it into the car. Some people might bench bleed it, but I'm going to just be flushing out the brake fluid just because it's been sitting for a long time. Most people never even flush out the brake fluid, so might as well go ahead and do it. Going to put on the brake lines first. Not going to tighten them, but going to loosely put them on. Real easily, they should start just by hand. Go ahead and just push it on to that brake booster. Go ahead and start the nuts with the lock washers. Master cylinder is fully installed. Just going to go ahead and fill it up with some brake fluid, and we'll get on to bleeding brakes. So in order to bleed the brakes correctly, you got to start with the brake that is farthest from the master cylinder. That is going to be the right rear passenger, and then we're going to move on to the left rear driver side, then the passenger front, and then driver side front. Alright, so here on the rear tire, I got the bleeding valve over here. Looks to be a 10 mil. So I got a 10 right here. Go ahead and loosen it on up. And I do have a hand pump right here to bleed the brakes. Bled the brakes. Now I tried to use the hand pump, but I guess there was just too much air in the system. I had to go ahead and have someone in there pump the brakes a bunch of times, and until I got a consistent flow coming out, made sure there's no air in the system. All good clean fluid is coming out. Now at first there was some rust and just water coming out of the line, so definitely needed a flush big time. Basically everything is finished up. I just need to go ahead and top off the reservoir. There it is. Everything has been topped off. Everything all tightened up. Let me know if you guys have any questions down below in the comment section on putting on the brake master cylinder. But for the most part, it's pretty much the same process when it comes to these vehicles. Brake master cylinders haven't changed all too much. That's one thing checked off the list. I just got a few more things to do onto this Prelude before I try to make it my new daily. Make sure you guys like this video and subscribe to the channel, because I'm definitely going to have more Fortune Prelude content coming your way. Go ahead and check out the other videos I have available for you guys, but for this video, this is going to be it. I'm going to have to catch you on the next one, player.